my nights would be better spent staring at the open sky. I don't know where lies end. Just hope it's better than what's behind.
There's some significant happenings this week, at least as far as cinema goes.
Yeah.
There's a passing of a cinematic great, Val Kilmer.
Yeah, Val Kilmer passed away. It's crazy, man.
It is. Well, he wasn't even that old.
Yeah, and was it cancer that he
So
had?
it's interesting. No, so
I couldn't remember what it was.
So he had throat cancer.
That's okay. I knew he had that.
And he had gone through chemo and all this stuff. But he was actually, as far as I could tell, he was doing fine from that. I think he was may have even been in remission. But it was, from what I read, it was pneumonia.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, kind of crazy. I mean, a guy, as we've gotten older, it's been interesting to watch these actors that we have seen as kids and as adults now getting to that spot where, you know, it happens to everybody, death, right? But it's just interesting to see people that were staples of, you know, cinema for us.
Yep.
That are passing away.
Definitely makes you feel old, man.
Oh, dude.
Like, 'cause I remember hearing my mom talk about like Cary Grant passing away, or you know, like Humphrey Bogart when he passed away because that was throat cancer. That's why it was in my. I remember that too. But like, it's weird to be at that age where now our childhood, you know, the guys we were watching as kids are now all getting a bit older, or some of them are passing away. Right? It's like, it's kind of weird, man.
It is, and I was just kind of thinking through like movies that I had seen him in, and you know, like characters that I really appreciated him playing. The first one that comes to mind for me is Doc Holliday.
Oh, that's the first one. It should be every, because he should have won an Oscar for that. That was was phenomenal performance.
Honestly, probably one of my favorite cinematic characters just overall.
Yep.
And I was kind of reflecting on, well, why is that character so great? Like, why is his portrayal of that character so great? And for me, I thought a couple of things. One, it was the amount of wit that he uses. I mean, just his like little one-liners. You know, like the whole oh, he's too drunk to fight, and he's like, I got two guns, one for each of you.
He says
you know?
you're probably seeing doubles. He's like, I've got two guns, one for each of you.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's, I mean, it just so that like he has all lines throughout the movie that are like that.
Yep.
But then also, and the way that Val plays him, he's a character that you see his struggle, and it's a very like relatable and human struggle. But you see a man underneath that is, even though he's dealing with these challenges, you can tell he wants to be good. He wants to be redeemed. He wants to. I
was gonna say, I don't know about good. I think for him, there's a line of. There are like, I mean, especially the beginning. I mean, he robs the casino and stuff like that. He wasn't like a good guy,
no,
but he's loyal to his friends, right?
Sure.
And I think we as guys love that character of like and you look at it in Westerns, and every Westerns, there's that morally gray character, Shane, right? The man with no name, any movie with Clint Eastwood, pretty much, right? And then you have Doc Holliday, which again, in this one, he's a bit of a gray area character. And I don't know why that kind of character is so appealing. And the way he plays, I like how you brought up like the way he plays it. It's not just the quotes, it's how he delivers them, right? Like, and it's he's struggling, but I think what's so cool is you're seeing a character who's not struggling anymore. He's already accepted his face. Think about it. Like, you know, you're like, I'm going to kill you. And he's like, you're a daisy if you do.
Yeah.
Right. Because he's like, I'm already dead. I don't care.
Yep.
You know, and it's like the way he plays his character as a guy who already his time is already up.
Yep.
He knows it. So no matter what's the only thing that matters? Well, his friends. And I love that scene where, and to me, I think this is his best quote when the guy's like, Doc, why are you even out here? And he's like, because Wyatt Earp's my friend. He goes, I got plenty of friends. He goes, I don't.
Yeah.
And I was like, dang, that right there, I think that's a very man quote, right? Like we don't have, I think as men, especially when we get into older ages, we don't have a lot of friends. We tend to have, and again, it's not every guy. Like my grandpa had friends everywhere. It depends on the personality, but like even now, I feel like I have a lot of people I'm friendly with,
Yep.
but I don't have a ton of friends.
You don't have a huge group of people that you would go to war with.
Yes, yeah,
Right. Like that's how I view that, because I think that, and you're right, as we get older, I think you start to realize, oh, these are people that not only I want to be around, that make me a better person, that I respect.
yeah.
But like there's that loyalty. And when I said good, I think I wasn't necessarily saying morally good. I think there was a redemptive quality to what he was pursuing, like to that loyalty component, right? Like,
Yeah, I was
like-
gonna say, I don't know if there's so much redemption for Doc Holliday. I think that's why we love his character so much, is because he doesn't change. There's no growth in Doc Holliday. He is who he is from the beginning of the movie until the very end. If you think about it, Wyatt sees development, right?
Yep.
He goes from not even caring to caring, right?
For sure.
And so you see the development of Wyatt, but you don't see any development in Doc, because he is who he's going to be. That's who he is. He's accepted his fate.
Yeah.
He's ready to go. But that's what makes his character so cool, is even, I mean, he could check out. He could be done, but he doesn't. He still steps into these situations that could end very poorly, right? Or he could suffer through, and it's like, or increase his suffering. And it's, I don't know. That's why I think we like that character so much as men, is it's like, this dude's at the end of his rope. He knows it. And so it's like, I got nothing to lose. And I think, I like, personally, that's what I always stood out to me about him, is he doesn't have to be there for his friends anymore. And there's an excuse. He has a reason. Or sorry, I shouldn't say he doesn't have an excuse. He has a reason, right? Excuses make it seem like reasons are, yeah, this explains it. He has a good reason to not be there, right?
I think that's what I mean by redemption, though. Like I think he ends up redeeming his life that was essentially wasted, because like at the very end, right? Him being
Do you
there.
think his character, though, would agree with that? Would he be like, no, I looked out for Wyatt because he's my friend. That's what I do. And if he could, he'd still be around gunslinging and gambling and drinking, right?
Yeah.
Like his character
maybe.
is who he is. That arc has already been played out, and now
Yeah.
we get to see the results of that
That's
arc,
fair.
which I think is what makes that character so interesting. We get to see Wyatt's arc, right?
Mhm.
He's the main character. We get to see his arc, but Holiday, he doesn't have one, but he doesn't need one. It's the results of that arc, and that's what makes his character so interesting. But
Okay.
again, that's from a writing perspective, right?
Sure.
And you look at that in so many books, you have these characters that people love who tend to be side characters, who tend to be already characters that their arc is played out.
Yeah.
And that's what makes them so interesting, is you get to see the results of that arc and wonder, how did they become the way they did? And you see it through Doc's eyes a little bit.
A little bit.
Kind of why he's the way he is. Well, he's suffering from this disease that's going to kill him. He's on a timer. So why not live it up? Why not put myself in these positions? Why not? If I get shot, who cares? I'm dead anyways. That's what makes him so deadly.
Absolutely.
Right? He doesn't have to worry about life or death.
Yeah.
And
Well,
that's what makes him so
I think
confident.
that's
He
why
doesn't
we
care.
like that character too, because I think all of us deep down
Fear.
we fear, but we would love to be liberated to not fear.
To not
we
fear
would
it.
love to be able to go, I don't care. I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
I'm going to die on this hill. Right.
Yeah.
I think there's something so noble about that. I think.
Isn't that cool though, that like just a couple of characters from this guy that he played, we still think about, we still remember, and that's gonna ripple throughout history. There's gonna be dads like us who let their kids watch Tombstone when they get old enough. Okay, when they get old enough, when my son's old enough, and watch it with them and see them have the same reaction. I think that's what makes that character so memorable. Is every person who watches it has that same reaction. And he didn't just have one good role. He had other.
No.
I mean, obviously Top Gun, Iceman, which is great, and then a lot of people. Heat is the one. Those are the top three for me.
Yeah.
And Heat, his character in Heat was always my favorite. Just I don't know why. I just thought he was so cool, and I was so glad that he was the one that got away. Spoiler alert, by the way. Yeah, but yeah, man. He was a good actor, man. He knew how to carry an action character. I also love the fact that he shows up in Psych at the end. That was great. They always make references to Val Kilmer, and he shows up at the end.
Yeah.
If you've never seen Psych, you should. It's a great show.
Oh, it's a fantastic
but
show.
really, but again, I think it's interesting for us to take a step back and be like, man, dude, like our childhood cinematic heroes are kind of coming to the end, and it's kind of, I don't know, it's just interesting. It reminds you of how fast things go.
And I think too, like it does speak to the impact that people and when they are operating in their best or operating at
their peak.
At their peak, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. What impact that has on the community, what impact that has on so many other people. I think because I mean, theoretically, any actor could have played Doc Holliday, right? Just like any actor could have played the Joker, right? But there are just certain people who they are that character.
Yep.
Right? That like Heath Ledger is the Joker.
Oh yeah.
Period. And for me, like Doc Holliday, like Val Kilmer is Doc Holliday.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, Ian McKellen is Gandalf, right? Like,
exactly.
Like it's one of those. I love that you brought that up because that was going to be one of the points I was thinking of is that if think about, can I even think of another actor who played Doc Holliday? There are other movies, Gunfight at the OK Corral. There's a bunch of them. The only Doc Holliday I remember is Val Kilmer's.
Yep.
Like it was just like you said, he captured that role, he made it his own, and that's why it became so legendary.
Absolutely.
Because that was his, and again, like I love who played Wyatt Earp? I can't remember his name. Do you remember his name? Why he was in Point Break and stuff like that, right? Oh my gosh, why can't I remember his name? That's terrible. But thankfully we have Mike to look it up, right, Mike? Why can't I remember? Because he was
Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell. I was
going to say Kurt Russell.
I was gonna say because he was in Escape from New York and all that stuff. So yeah, but yeah. I think that's a testament to his ability is the fact that he has a character that no one else will be able to take away, and he'll always be remembered. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
When this silent, you'll be alone, far from friends in life. You'll spend your evenings getting stoned to numb the ache inside.